got this, Kyle. You got this. Get it, get it, get it, get it!
Oh. So close! Oh, I just got roosted to the max. What's going on, guys? Kyle Bradshaw from MotoCity here, and today we're talking about the Continental suite of adventure motorcycle tires. That's right, this here behind me is going to be Continental's full lineup for you that want to get out there and adventure motorcycle. We've got the TKC80, which has been the tried and true go-to 50/50 tire for many people for many years. Now later on today, I'm going to be jumping onto that bike right there that has the TKC80s mounted up to it. Hey Travis, come up next to me here, please. So the TKC80 is a full-on knobby tire that is DOT rated and is great for these big adventure motorcycles. It allows you to travel off-road as aggressive as you want and still be able to handle some twisties. Now the nice part about this tire is the fact that it handles well on street and it handles excellent in the dirt. Now about 5 or 6 years ago or so, Continental came out with this guy here. It's called the TKC70. Now this TKC70 takes some of its roots from the TKC80 and some of its roots from its sport bike lineup, the Conti line. Now the neat part about this is the fact that it is a dual compound structure. So it's got a harder center strip here and then it has softer rubber here on the sides. Now they've done that via the way that they cure the rubber at different temperatures throughout the process of molding the tire. Now the other material that the TKC70 has that the 80 doesn't is it has its multi-grip technology. Now that's going to be comprised of a water-phobic substance called silica that they put into the rubber compound. Now that particular substance is going to actually push water away as the tire rolls towards it on the pavement. It's a huge safety feature. These tires work extremely well in cold and wet weather environments. The other thing you notice about this tire is the fact that we have lots of leading edges. Those leading edges are going to allow you to have lots of grip. Now the center contact patch here you notice is a solid strip. Now they've done that for two different reasons. The first is going to be the fact that it's going to be extremely smooth rolling. The same smoothness that you get out of a street bike tire, you're going to get out of this tire rolling down the highway. Now the other reason they put this solid center strip here on the tire is for longevity. Not having any separation here between the tread allows it to function as a solid piece, and it significantly increases the longevity or the wear characteristic of the tire. Now the third feature that this tire features is it's going to be its 0-degree belt. That's going to allow it to have lots of rigidity here across the top while still being flexible. It's got one of the more flexible sidewalls of any of the other tires out there in the adventure segment. As far as a road tire goes, man, this thing feels great. These tires are sticking to the ground like glue. I can scrape peg, in tow, in all these corners, and I'm not feeling it skip out like I was on that 80. Now just this last year, Continental has released a brand new tire that is a subcomponent of this guy right here. They basically had customers that said, I love my TKC80, and the TKC70 works great on road, and it's an okay gravel road tire off-road, but I want something that's going to be a little bit more aggressive off-road that's still going to give me the longevity that I'm going to find in the TKC70. Well, here we are, pinned wide open. Trying to get traction here, guys. Trying to get traction. Oh. That, my friends, is the difference between a TKC70 and a TKC80 in the sand. And that is where the TKC70 Rocks was born. Now, brand new release for this last year during the pandemic was this guy right here. This is the TKC70 Rocks. Now, I've been running this tire for almost a year now on my 390 Duke and an Africa Twin, and I gotta tell you that this tire is really breaking some of the barriers that we have out there in the marketplace. We have sport bike-like tire performance on the street. Not only is it going to carve canyons with the best of them, it's also going to work really, really well in cold and wet weather. You can see that the groove here that they've carved out in this tire gives it just enough grip for that bite slip, bite slip, bite slip that you really want when you get off-road on a big adventure bike. Now, the other neat part about this is the fact that it still maintains that dual compound setup. So it's going to be a harder compound in the center and a softer compound on the side. That's going to allow you to get great traction in corners, and it's going to give you great longevity while riding straight down the highway. Now, while these gaps do appear to be significant in size, this tire still rolls down the highway extremely smooth. Not quite as smooth as the TKC70, but noticeably smoother than that of the TKC80. So how do these break down? We basically have an 80-20 tire. So 80% of the time on the street, 20% of the time in the dirt. This guy's now going to be a 60-40. We're going to be 60% on road and 40% off-road. Now, if you want the ultimate 50-50 tire, it's going to be this guy right here, the TKC80. This is going to be the absolute leader in the marketplace when it comes to a true 50-50 tire. This tire was developed to be an excellent handling tire on road, and it's going to be one of the most aggressive tires you're going to find in the adventure segment for the off-road marketplace. Now, the only caveat is the fact that this guy wears out probably twice as quick as either of the other two tires that we've already talked about. Now, when we look at the front tires that are paired next to these rear tires that we've just called out, we have two tires only. We have the TKC70, which we find here and here, and we have the TKC80, which we find here and here. Now, in talking to the guys at Continental, I asked why you didn't make a TKC70 Rocks front tire, and they said we really didn't deem it necessary. Those guys that are doing more on-road touring are going to lean towards the TKC70 front tire, and those that are doing more off-road specific type stuff are going to choose the TKC80 tire. There really doesn't need to be a tire in between. If you're riding mostly road, you go the 70, and if you're riding mostly dirt, you go with the 80. They really didn't feel the need to put out a third tire to match this TKC70 Rocks rear tire. Now again, I've been on this tire for about a year now, and I can attest to the fact that the mileage I'm getting, I've almost got 4,000 miles on my rear tire now, and it's holding up really well. I've ridden this thing in deep sand. Look at that sand wash down there. This would be a good TKC70 Rocks test for sure. And I've ridden it in rock, and then river rock, just kind of thrown in here for the fun of it. So I've ridden it in rain. So the tires I'm running on this trip is going to be the TKC80 in the front and the TKC70 Rocks in the rear. Like I said earlier, I hope to get off onto some dirt and to some mud roads today. Out there in the desert, we should have some awesome dirt, as we've had this rain now for just about 12 hours or so. I've ridden it in just about any type of terrain except for deep sticky mud. I have not had that opportunity as of yet, but in all of the aspects that I have just mentioned, it performs extremely well. Really impressed with this tire. Now, the caveat to this tire is the fact that when I tested the TKC70 versus the TKC80, I ride more hardcore off-road than I do on-road, and therefore this 70 just didn't quite do it for me in the off-road segment. Now, that's why I personally would lean towards the TKC80 set. But now that this 70 Rocks has appeared, I'm running the TKC80 in the front and I'm running the Rocks in the rear, and I'm finding that to be an amazing combination. I'm getting lots of longevity out of the rear, I'm getting great hookup, and it feels like a sport bike in the corners. I really get that road feedback, and that's a feeling that I really like when I'm hammering twisties extremely hard. So I think Continental has hit a home run when it comes to this TKC70 tire. It's really going to allow you guys to personalize and customize the way that you want your bike to perform off-road. Having got almost 4,000 miles on my personal motorcycles on this tire, if you have any questions about the tire, please leave a comment down below. And if you have any feedback, if you've ridden these tires, I'd love to hear in the comments below what you think about the tires. Are you a TKC70 fan? I'd love to hear about that. Do you ride only the 80 because it really is the tried and true go-to 50-50 tire? I'd like to hear about that too. And if you've had any experience on the TKC70 Rocks, please provide the watchers down below your feedback so they can be well informed. Anyway, I'm Kyle Bradshaw. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. We here at MotoCity have lots of tires here on the wall available for immediate pickup and installation. Now, if you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up, and we would like you to hit that subscribe button and notification bell as well so you can be notified when new videos are released. And now I'm Kyle Bradshaw. This here is MotoCity. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and ride safe out there. Some pretty big rocks. So with the full TKC80, I'd be getting quicker pickup when I hit the throttle right there in the soft stuff. I mean, this really is a street tire that has larger grooves cut in it. So on this hard packed dirt, this tire is epic. In the soft sandy stuff that we just went through, it does take a little bit more effort and momentum to get through there, but as you can tell, it still does it pretty well. As far as these large river rocks go, it just crawls right over them. Now I'm running about 30 PSI front and rear. I'm running cast wheels on the Duke, and I really don't want to be busting the front rim, so hopefully that mid air pressure allows me to be able to keep the pressures hard enough that we're not going to contact the rim, and soft enough that we're going to be having some sidewall flex and a little bit of suspension out of the tire.